Right everyone, and welcome back to our Vettel career on F1 2015, and today it's round 9 of the season, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And yet last time out it was Austria, the Red Bull Ring, and yet Vettel won that race pretty comfortably in the end. It was a Ferrari 1-2, the first one for nearly 5 years, and yeah, it was Vettel leading over his teammate Kimi Raikkonen in that one. And yeah, both Mercedes drivers getting involved in incidents and yeah, really dropping a lot of points in both championships. So yeah, moving on to round 9 of the season then, and yeah, Ferrari really with the upper hand at this stage, and Mercedes looking on the back foot. So yeah, heading into obviously what was Lewis Hamilton's home race, and yeah, he's got a slender lead in the championship, and he'll be looking to try and eke some of it back out here today, as we have a look at now what happened in qualifying. So qualifying started with ideal conditions, and Q1 was nice and dry. And yeah, most of the front runners used the prime tyres to get through in the top 15, and yet Vettel actually was fast in that session on the prime tyres, and yeah, it was a few tenths faster than two Mercedes. So yeah, that was quite encouraging to see. But as per the typical British weather, it started to rain, and we got once again another wet qualifying. And yeah, they're on straight onto the full wet tyres and in Q2, and yeah, Vettel got through that session in second place and just behind Nico Rosberg. So yeah, it was looking pretty close here between Ferrari and Mercedes. And then in Q3 the weather eased up again, and it was only light rain for the start of the session. And yet Vettel actually set the pace on the intermediate tyres, but then the rain started to lighten even more, and the track was actually dry enough for slick tyres right at the end, with most cars actually managing to go out and set a time just before the time ran out. And it was looking like maybe a few surprises, but it was actually Sebastian Vettel. He managed to get pole position by nearly 8 tenths of a second in the end over second place Daniel Ricciardo. So it was a bit of a mixed up grid here, and yeah, we're going to look at the full top 10 of what is quite a mixed up grid. So it's Sebastian Vettel then who takes pole position just alongside his 2014 teammate Daniel Ricciardo, and it was a great day all round for Red Bull Racing, who have struggled all season, with Daniel Kvyat also up there in 4th place and Lewis Hamilton in the middle of the two Red Bulls in 3rd. Kimi Raikkonen couldn't match his teammate and was only in 5th place, with Nico Hülkenberg a very strong 6th place for Force India. The two Williams had to settle for row 4 today, and Nico Rosberg and Sergio Perez did not set a time on the dry tyres, and they had to settle with their intermediate times. They're down in 9th and 10th, so once again it's gone wrong for Nico Rosberg here today. He's once again missed out on another opportunity here, it seems, and we're now going to go to the race.
It's Sunday afternoon, and that means it's time for Formula One. This week finds us in the lush English countryside as the teams make their final preparations before the start of the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone. A wonderful performance from Sebastian Vettel yesterday sees the driver starting from P1 in today's race. A race that, of course, he'll be hoping he can go on and win.
He'll want to stay out of trouble over the first few laps, but he'll be determined not to let any cars past him. If he can maintain that position once everything's settled down, he'll have a massive advantage and be able to control the race.
After a stellar performance in qualifying yesterday, Daniel Kvyat must be dreaming of his first ever podium here today.
The young Russian has shown some great maturity already in his time in Formula One. He has the genuine speed to put that car on the podium today if he gets a bit of luck and keeps out of trouble.
So we're here on the grid then. It's nice and sunny, thankfully, for race day, and yeah, it's looking like it'll be a 2-stop race here. And yeah, seeing the Ferrari is pretty good on its tyres compared to the Mercedes, so yeah, Vettel will be looking pretty good here from pole position as the lights are coming on now. And away they go then at Silverstone, and Vettel gets an alright start. It looks like Hamilton got a better one than him, and so did Daniel Ricciardo in fact, getting alongside him into turn 1. But Vettel sweeps around the outside, had the better line there for the corner. And he's straight back into the lead of the Grand Prix, with Ricciardo settling in for 2nd place and Hamilton still in 3rd. So yeah, ideal for Vettel really. He needs to sort of pull away really while Hamilton is still getting held up by the Red Bull a bit, because we're obviously expecting the Mercedes to be a lot quicker than the Red Bull. Even though this is the kind of track where the twisty and sort of medium and high speed corners do suit the Red Bull, they've just got such a deficit with their engine that yeah, you expect the Mercedes is going to pass pretty quickly, and in fact they're already going side by side here, it looks like, behind And Ricciardo just about holding off Hamilton for the time being, so that is good news for Vettel there, because he needs to get away as quickly as possible here. And we see a start, and Hamilton got a fantastic start actually, but had nowhere to go with it. Vettel sort of moved across a little bit to cover, I think he was looking more to cover Ricciardo, but he ended up covering Hamilton more instead. And Hamilton just sort of went the wrong way there. He sort of saw the gap opening on the left, but sort of was already committed to getting to the right there. And we see Ricciardo had a chance to go up the inside there, but just didn't seem to have the confidence that Vettel did with his tyres going into the first corner. It's quite a flat out turn, but Ricciardo didn't really have the best angle for it. And you see Vettel had moved across him there, so yeah, it's putting the pressure on him a little bit, and you see just there's so much of a tighter line there, and allowed Vettel to just sweep round and retake the lead. And later on in the lap, Hamilton did actually complete the move on Daniel Ricciardo, then down the hanger straight towards Stowe, and yeah, through he goes in second place. So Vettel's going to have to push now to try and keep that Mercedes at bay. Obviously Hamilton's home race, so he's got highly motivated here. And we've actually got light rain scheduled for in 10 minutes time, so yeah, the good old British weather I think is going to deliver here once again. And you can see some clouds already starting to form here. Let's get to lap 6 though, and Vettel pulling out a good leader over Hamilton, it has to be said, with Raikkonen in third now, but heavy rain in 15 minutes the same now. We're approaching the first round of pit stops, so it looks like when the rain does arrive it's really going to come down quite a lot. So yeah, that's going to be interesting as we skip to lap 8, where Vettel does come in for his first stop of the afternoon now. And behind it looks like Hamilton is going to do the same. So yeah, it looks like they're on a pretty similar strategy here. And the Mercedes not having to come in as early as the Ferrari, so it looks like they're going to be pretty even in terms of tyre wear and strategy for today. But Raikkonen stays out then, obviously they're not going to double stack this time then, which is interesting when they did it in Austria, but obviously maybe we learned from that mistake this time. As yeah, Vettel onto another set of the option tyres, pretty much what you'd expect really, considering the range just around the corner. They just want to push as much as they can. Also they couldn't eke the tyres out for as long as they wanted to actually go straight onto inters, but yeah, you see rain starting to fall just now, so maybe it was the wrong call there to actually come in for another set of dry tyres, as Vettel accidentally cuts across the curb there as he's repassing Felipe Nasr, so he has to give the place back. That's going to hurt him a little bit there and cost him a little bit of time unnecessarily, but he is going to just line up Nasr now and get DRS here down at the Wellington straight, and through he goes into 6th place. So yeah, obviously all the people in front of him will have to pit, but will they be pitting for inters or for dry tyres? Well, we know that heavy rain is coming, and I mean it could suddenly be too wet like on the dry tyres, so Vettel decided that he's going to come straight back in and go on to intermediate tyres here. Bit of a gamble, and in fact he comes in, he locked up, hit the back of Carlos Sainz, and he's broken his front wings, so this is just disastrous then. He came in early, maybe a bit of a gamble there to go for the intermediate tyres, and now he's down his front wings, so yeah, it's going to be a long pit stop, and any advantage you may have gained, you may well be losing now. As into the pits, all those in front of him did come, but it does seem that they're all going on to another set of dry tyres, and they do not think it's wet enough for intermediates yet, so that may be some kind of a relief there for Vettel, and may keep him in the race still. But yeah, he's going to have lost a lot of ground there, over 10-second pit stop to change that front wing as he locked up coming into the pit lane. And yeah, he's going to be down in 17th position then, only the 2 Manners behind him at this point, as out of the pits he comes. And yeah, he's just got to hope that he gains all those places back when people go in for inters, because it does look like the rain is starting to come down a bit more. So yeah, that could save his race, which he was in control of only a few laps ago. As yeah, we see cars now coming into the pits, a lot of them in fact, except for in fact you can see that one dot there just going into Brooklands now, which is actually Lewis Hamilton, who did not come in and is still out there on the dry tyres. So Vettel rejoins in 4th place behind Ricciardo and Raikkonen, so he has lost a fair bit of time there. But will Hamilton have lost a lot of time here, staying out one more lap on dry tyres? You'd have to think so, because it is starting to look a lot wetter out there, and we'll have to see now. But out of the pits he comes, you can see on the map he's actually still comfortably in the lead, so that really doesn't seem to have affected him at all there. And Vettel's got his work out here to retake that lead, and he's going to dive up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo here into turn 3, and he's through and into 3rd place, and he had to make that move there and get after the top 2. As we're now going to skip to the end of the lap then, and already starting to look where the rain is coming down a lot more here, and in fact Vettel is going to come back in again here for what you'd have to think is the wet tyres. And once again, as he come in too early, well, at least there's no cars in front of him in the pit lane to crash into this time. But yeah, as he's coming into the pit lane now, and have to say, it does look like the rain is coming down a lot heavier here in the pit lane. So maybe this will be an inspired call here by either Ferrari or Sebastian Vettel, whoever decided to make that decision there at Ferrari. And yeah, he is onto the full wet tyres then, possibly a lap earlier than everyone else. Can that play into his hands, and can that cause him to leapfrog Raikkonen and Hamilton again? That's certainly what he'll be hoping here, as he's going to be coming out of the pits then, down in around about 10th place here. So yeah, everyone will be coming in again for wet tyres at some point in the next few laps, you'd have to think, but it's actually going to be down in 12th place then, as he gets back up to speed. And yeah, it looks like everyone's running alright on the intermediates still so far, but by the end of the lap they've actually closed right in on, well, Vettel closed right in on Ericsson here, and it looks like Ericsson will be bolting for the pits then. But yeah, as we see on the mini-map, the first 6 or 7 I think stayed out once again, and they sort of missed that window where everyone else was coming in for the wet tyres. So is that going to hurt them and help Vettel? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Vettel is up into 8th place then, so 7 cars out in front have not, well, are still on the intermediate tyres when it's really starting to look like the track is very wet out there. So yeah, Vettel on those wet tyres may be able to gain a massive advantage then. He's got 2 more laps on these tyres then, 2 more laps of experience on these tyres, so yeah, that could really help him here. As into 2nd place then, he's actually going to rejoin, and in fact Hamilton has lost quite a lot of ground here, and Kimi Raikkonen now leads the race. So once again, Ferrari running 1 and 2 here, and it's now Kimi Raikkonen actually in front of Vettel then. It's the other way around in Austria, but yeah, that's big news then, because Vettel's now ahead of the championship leader, and in fact he is going to be catching now Kimi Raikkonen, who still has a chance at the championship, and I don't think he'll be giving this position up too easily here, as we head towards Stone now then, and Vettel thinking about having a look there, but just didn't have the confidence on the brakes to send one at the inside there, and obviously with his teammate as well, it was obviously going to be quite a long shot there to try and dive at the inside there. But he is right behind him here, and it's looking like he is the faster of the two at this point, but they are both pulling away from Lewis Hamilton, interestingly. So yeah, the Ferrari running very well in the wet here, and they've just got to be careful here. They've got a real chance of taking 2-1-2 finishes in a row here, and they really can't mess that one up. As Vettel dives at the inside of Raikkonen into Stowe, but once again Raikkonen with more confidence on the brakes, sweeps from the outside and maintains his lead. And yeah, we'll have to see what actually happens here as Vettel locks up and actually taps the back of Raikkonen, gets away with it though. He has lost about a second or two there, but yeah, they've got away with that one then. That's a bit of a warning there for Vettel, pushing a bit too hard maybe to try and get that lead. As we're on to lap 22 of 26 and not long to go now, and he's got a great run here on Raikkonen up the inside into Stone. It looks like this time he does have the confidence on the brakes, and through he goes into the lead. That could be crucial for the championship now. He's got a car between himself and Lewis Hamilton, and that could really help him out here in the championship fight. 11 points is the gap, so yeah, that would bring the gap down to just 1 point if it stayed as it is now. As we've actually got Raikkonen looking back at him here on the next lap into Brooklands, and Vettel slightly deep there, runs a bit wide. He's going to have to try and cut it back now for Luffield, but he's gone wide again, and Raikkonen is going to go at the inside here, it looks like. Yes, he is. They actually bang wheels there, and Vettel out into the gravel slightly, loses the back end a little bit, and Raikkonen back through into the lead. So very aggressive there from Kimi Raikkonen. He doesn't want to give up this win. He hasn't won since the 2013 Australian Grand Prix, and he would love to win another race for Ferrari. He hasn't won one for Ferrari, of course, since 2009. So yeah, nearly 6 years then since that last victory, and yeah, he'll be trying very hard now to maintain his position. He's obviously got 2 laps newer tyres, let's not forget, than Vettel, so it does sort of play into his hand, but Vettel has looked quicker, you'd have to say, during this wet part of the race, and he gets a great run once again then down the hanger straight and towards Stowe. He's going to go round the outside this time and yeah, retake that lead. So it's turned into quite a battle here between the 2 Ferrari teammates for this race win. They both know that they've got a chance at this championship. Vettel maybe with a slightly better one, but yeah, Raikkonen's still very much there, and we're not even halfway through the season yet. We're getting close, but yeah, he's still got a chance, and you see very aggressively there. Vettel made a mistake and Raikkonen was quick to pounce on it, but Vettel had the great run after that through Chapel and onto the hanger straight, and he maintains his lead. As we get to lap 24 then, Vettel still under a lot of pressure here. As we said, he's got 2 laps older tyres, so yeah, Raikkonen's really going to be putting the pressure back on him here and not letting him run off with this one, as we saw him get very close there through the new section and onto the Wellington straight. It looks like he's going to have a good run here down that straight towards Brooklands. Is he going to try and just pressure Vettel into a mistake again? It does look like the German has run a little bit wide here. Is he going to make the same mistake into left field? He's going to try and keep it as tight as possible. Raikkonen will have a look, and they're so close there to contact, but he just about gets away with it there. And yeah, only a couple of laps to go now. It's so close. We skip on to the penultimate lap now. And Raikkonen with a fantastic run out of left field there, and through Woodcote, he's going to get side by side here towards Copse corner. Vettel's going to maintain his inside line, but he touches the wall and then he bangs wheels and spins out, and Kimi Raikkonen is going to go through into the lead. Has Vettel just thrown away the 1-2 there? He's going to try and recover as quickly as possible, but coming up quickly behind him, the 2 Mercedes of Hamilton and Rosberg are now ready to pounce on him. And yeah, you have to say that looked like Vettel's mistake there. As going defensive into the corner, he touched the inside wall there, and yeah, then tagged Raikkonen and went spinning round. And that is really not what Ferrari wanted. They wanted to just bring us 1-2 home as easily as possible, but no, it's resulted in their teammates colliding. And yeah, that is not what any team wants, obviously. The golden rule of racing, don't crash into your teammate, and the second rule, of course, is see rule 1. So yeah, we see Raikkonen throwing his hand up there, and yeah, obviously not his fault, but onto the final lap now, and Hamilton can see his main championship rival right in front of him. Vettel goes defensive, Hamilton looks to the inside, but he actually gets spun out there, and Hamilton's now gone spinning. What drama we've seen in the final couple of laps of this race. Rosberg is going to be up into 3rd place from 9th on the grid, and yeah, it looks like the Ferrari 1-2 may have just been saved, but was that a controversial incident there? Hamilton went up the inside and then he kind of just didn't really commit to it, and Vettel left as much space as he could there, and Hamilton went spinning. And yeah, I think Hamilton was just a little bit too half-hearted there going into that corner, and yeah, he was always going to come off worse, I think. And yeah, he's lost that place to Rosberg now then, and we're going to see it on board then. And yeah, he's just gonna, yeah, you see Vettel left as much space as he could, even run off the track afterwards as well. And in fact, Rosberg is now looking at 2nd place, so from 9th on the grid, can he maybe have another one here on this final lap? Well, Vettel's going to go defensive as he can here to try and keep that Ferrari 1-2, which has been thrown into jeopardy with that incident with Raikkonen. As we go into the final 2 corners, up ahead, Kimi Raikkonen is going to take his first win for over 2 years. There he goes, and he takes the win, and it looks like just about it's going to be another Ferrari 1-2, the 2nd in a row. And Vettel, he'll be frustrated with that one, but he looks happy enough here with 2nd. He knows he's taken some good points off Lewis Hamilton today. But the happiest man in Silverstone will be Kimi Raikkonen, and he is actually showing it today. And yeah, Ferrari won't be happy with that crash, but they look happy enough that they've at least kept the 1-2 today. And yeah, hopefully we won't see too many fireworks between the 2 teammates now going forward. But they look happy enough, I think, on the podium. I think Nico Rosberg is as well, because he's outscored Lewis Hamilton today, and it looked like his weekend had gone poorly again when he qualified in 9th. So yeah, I think overall 3 happy drivers on the podium today. And we see now the final results, and it was Kimi Raikkonen who took the win by 7 seconds in the end from Sebastian Vettel. So 5th to 1st for Raikkonen today, a good result from him. Rosberg will be happy, as we said, with that 3rd place from 9th on the grid, and Daniel Ricciardo had to settle for 4th in the end after qualifying on the front row. Lewis Hamilton actually dropped to 6th place in the end, and so that last lap incident crossed him big time then today. He could have settled for 3rd today, but instead he's going to be 6th. Daniel Kvyat also dropping down a few places. Fernando Alonso and Pastor Maldonado making some big gains, as did Felipe Nasr, also further down there. And we see that Max Verstappen didn't have a great weekend either. Neither did Toro Rosso in general, really, both out of the points. Same for the 2 Saubers. Manor having a good home race though, with Will Stevens and Roberto Merri 15th and 16th. Overall, and yeah, a miserable weekend for Force India then. Hulkenberg, the last of the finishers, in 17th. Perez out the race along with Grosjean and Button. So yeah, the Butt Gropers was the 3 DNFs today then. As in the Drivers' Championship then, 1 point now separates Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. It was the home race from Hull in the end from Hamilton. And yeah, it's really now put him under pressure. And look at that, Kimi Raikkonen only 13 points off the lead. and we said that, you know, a win today could really put him back in it, and that is certainly what has happened here. Nico Rosberg 49 back, he's still got almost 2 race wins to make up, but I mean, still a long way to go. He could still do it. We could still have a 4-way fight for this championship. Looking further down, we see Daniel Kvyat has passed Max Verstappen, and that's probably going to do him some favours then, because he was really struggling this season. And yeah, looking further down, we see Pastor Maldonado overtaking Jenson Button today then. So yeah, not such a happy home race then for the Brits then, I guess, today. And in the Constructors' Championship, well, 35 points now is Ferrari's lead over Mercedes, with that second 1-2 victory in a row. And yeah, this was not in the script at all for Mercedes. They went into the season looking like this would be another walkover like 2014. And suddenly we're approaching the halfway point of the season. They're on the back foot here against a very consistent Ferrari team. And yeah, they have really got some work to do now to try and gain that back and actually keep Hamilton in the lead of the Drivers' Championship as well. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see here over the next few races and for the rest of the season, as we see Williams and Red Bull still comfortable in 3rd and 4th, and looking further down we see Force India and Toro Rosso putting some pressure on Lotus now for 5th place, and further down we see McLaren and Sauber a little bit distant in 8th and 9th, and man still yet to get off the mark. So that is it for this race. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and also any comments with any thoughts or any feedback on today's episode. Also check the description below for links to my Twitter and Twitch, and I shall see you next time for Hungary. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.